Well, let's try again. I was filming and an Amber Alert came in and kind of froze my phone. I guess it's important. Amber Alerts are important, but I could see where someone might have a problem with that because what if you're doing something important? What if you're talking to your doctor about your test results or something and all of a sudden an Amber Alert comes on and it just takes everything away. It's weird. You think as much as I use my phone, I would have been on a phone call or texting somebody or filming a video or doing something, taking a photograph, doing something on my phone when an Amber Alert came in, but I don't think I have. Amber Alerts usually can come in at odd times, like someone was abducted or someone was supposed to return the non-custodial parent, everything has a name, was returning and then they didn't return the child. But let's see if this will work again. I got rid of that other video I was filming, and let me tell you what was going on, what I was talking about on that video. Thanks for tuning in, all of you great people out there in YouTubeville, or is it YouTube Town, or U-Town, I don't know. But anyway, I was talking about the fact that when I was acting, doing a lot of acting, I was able to work like kind of a full-time kind of situation where I didn't have to work an extra job. I wouldn't have a set extra job, and so I have some side hustles I used to do, like the demo stuff. Hi sir, would you like to try this delicious drink? Hi, would you like to try some salsa? That kind of thing. In Whole Foods, Sprouts, Albertsons, Vaughn's, that kind of stuff. It was fun, funner than not making any money at all. But I would, for a while there, when I was a regular on TV shows or making a feature film, for example, I wouldn't have time to do a side hustle job, or I didn't want to work a part-time job or even a full-time job and try to do acting on my days off. I needed flexibility. That was a big thing. I needed to have flexibility. Money's great, but I needed flexibility to go do other things. So a lot of times I'll find jobs, and also it was a good job because it offered flexibility. So when I'd be on set, a lot of times people would say to you, let's say I worked a Monday through Thursday and somebody else was coming in, they're going to work a Tuesday and Wednesday, just a Tuesday and Wednesday. So I see them on Tuesday, my second day on the show, and they're first, and they say, David, how was it? And I say, oh, it's good. It was a lot of fun. It was a carnival scene or whatever. We walked around and pretended like we were eating cotton candy and holding a balloon and that kind of stuff. And I looked at an elephant or whatever. That's mostly background, of course, but that's where a lot of times that's where your bread is buttered. You'll get a day player role, or maybe a good print job or a commercial as well. But it was good. We did that. I got some reading in. Food was really good. Everybody was pretty nice. The crew was nice. The cast was nice. Everybody it was good. And they go, oh, was it a long day? Oh, no, 12 and a half hours. See, for us, that's a short day. That's an average day, 12 and a half hours, because they work a lot of hours. A lot of people say, well, these actors, these stars get a lot of time off. Well, they're working a lot when they're there. They might have a lot of time off, but their time on, it's a lot. So when these side hustles came out, I would try to get those. I was doing, like I said, I was doing like some of the, the demo work. Would you like to try this? Inventory job, maybe. And then the side hustles came up with food delivery services. And so when I started with a food delivery service, I started with Grubhub. I applied for Grubhub, DoorDash, and Postmates were the three that I found. And I applied to all three. Grubhub was the fastest. I started with them. When I first started, they were starting in the area of Pasadena, California. I live in Monrovia, right next to Pasadena. LA was already open. The market for LA was already open. So they said, you could start now. We'll bring you on right now. You can start with LA, or you can wait a couple of weeks and you can start in Pasadena. I thought I was wait a couple of weeks. Actually, it worked out pretty well because I was doing a commercial series, which was like 2 or 3 different commercials. We would go to different locations and pretend like it was, a week later, after 1 week or 1 week later, and really it's the same day. But we did that. I should give you a spoiler, and I didn't want to hurt your feelings when it comes to commercials. Sometimes they do things, camera tricks or whatever, and maybe it's not exactly what you're seeing, it's not exactly what's going on. But I waited, and I came on with them, and I think there was 450 of us in Pasadena. There in Pasadena now, they say it's well over 5,000, and we didn't get. Our territory is a little bit larger, but we didn't get. It wasn't so large that we needed that many people. A lot of people will sign up and never work, or they'll sign up and they work a lot because they're out of work. Then they go back to their regular job. Maybe their job is seasonal, or maybe they lost one job at one place and came back to another, that kind of thing, and then they returned, so then they're no longer working for Grubhub, but they're still on the books. Or maybe you're someone that always just worked, Thursdays. I have a regular job Monday through Friday. I'm off Saturday and Sunday, but Thursday evenings I'm gonna go and I'm gonna work from 5 to 9. That happens, that kind of thing. So when I first started, they were guaranteed, like, so you'll make $25 an hour or more, and that was pretty much true. There was a few of us. There weren't a lot of us. Everybody tipped. We got a good. We got a certain amount of dollars. I think it was $4 for the delivery plus our gas, plus a little bit extra sometimes if it's got a long distance or a long wait, and then tips on top of that. So, and you would have enough volume. What I always want to do is I want to take about 2.5 deliveries per hour. If you get 2.5 per hour, the one, you get 2 deliveries in one, it's kind of making you go into the next hour. That's fine. If you get 1, it's not enough. 2, really not enough. 3 is too many in 1 hour. Trying to go to the restaurant, wait for the food, get the food, drive to the person's house. Hopefully they come. Back then they had to come out and take the food from us. We had to knock on the door, ring the bell. We could never leave it at the door. In order to leave it at the door, I'd have to call Grubhub and say, "Hi, I got this customer. She's not home right now." I called her. She said that she'd gone to the grocery store and she is having problems with her credit card, and she asked, "Can I leave it at the door?" I had to get permission to leave it at the door. Then COVID happened, and then it's been leave it at the door ever since. They said they were actually thinking about going back to a situation where we'd have to hand it to them. There's a lot of theft. Sometimes the customers will order food and say it never arrived, and it did. And sometimes maybe the neighbor comes by, "Ooh, look at that, pizza," and go there. There's cameras, but still it happens. And then sometimes the driver will steal the food. So they are talking about maybe returning to a system like that. A lot of them have a PIN number. I'd have to bring the food to them and I say, "Hi, what's your PIN?" "Oh, it's 1621. 1621. I put it on my phone, and then they would know that I spoke to the customer, I left the food, I took the photo, and I had the code. On Grubhub, there's a 2-digit code, and if there's a lot of theft of food, sometimes in an apartment, sometimes, or if it's a customer they're a little questionable about, or if the customer says, I've lost food, this is the 3rd time I've ordered it and the food never arrived," which is probably not true, because why would you order 3 times? You wouldn't. It happened to you once and never again. If it ever happened again, you'd never do it again. So they give them a 2-digit code. So every time they order, they have to give me that 2-digit code after I drop off that food. So the stealing kind of stops. Then they usually stop me in the customer. But at first, we had great customers. They'd always order. They'd give you a $10 cash tip, or put on the app a $9 tip, that kind of thing. But then the fees started rising for these companies. Did they get greedy? There's a lot of competition now. It used to be just basically Grubhub. It'd be like pizza places had their own drivers. We had Pizza Hut, and now Pizza Hut got rid of all their drivers, and now we drive for Pizza Hut. We take the Pizza Hut orders because of the $20 an hour minimum wage that came out in California. So I don't know how it is where you are, but that's out here. We do a lot of this. But it'd be Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Domino's, that kind of thing. And the local mom and pops, they'd have their own deliveries. Then there'd be some Chinese restaurants. They do their own deliveries. And then then it would be Grubhub. And then DoorDash got real big in this area, and Postmates, which was then bought. This company was bought by this company, by that company, by that company. Now Grubhub, which was the biggest and the strongest of all, they've been bought a couple of times. We have Instacart. You get your groceries delivered, your medicines delivered, your food delivered, your marijuana delivered, your alcohol, whatever it is. Everything can be taken to your door. I think a lot of that had to do with COVID. But so as the money went up, we didn't make more money. The drivers didn't make more money. The companies made more money. They charge more. So the set cost to the customer will be the food, which a lot of times will be more. If you look at the regular menu and you look at the menu that you ordered off of, you'll see a difference. It might say the burger combo at the restaurant is $13, and where you got it for $14.80. So they add money there. Then there's the delivery fees and all that. So the money all went up there. That they're being charged from the restaurant, from the delivery companies and all that. So where can they pay less? The driver. So they stopped tipping as much to the driver, because they figure we're getting all that extra money. We're not. Then we had the Prop 22 thing happen as well, so it really cut us back a lot on that. And also, if we leave the food at the door, and they tip $0 on the app, a lot of times they'll even put, I didn't put a tip on the app because I'm going to leave you an envelope underneath the mat with money in it. And he said, okay, good. So you go and deliver it. You lift the mat, and there's nothing. You know, it's like stuck to the ground, like it's never been lifted since it was placed there 8 years ago. So sometimes you knock on the door, you'll see them. They don't want to come out. But if you sit in front of your car, you know, pretend like you're doing something, they come out and they say, oh, you know, I didn't see the envelope. Oh, really? What happened? Okay, I'll get you next time. Well, how they get me next time? Because the order from the app is not going to say, send David. I owe him an envelope full of money from last time, and I have an envelope of money from this time. None of that. They never tip, and that's what they do to get us to come out there. I know then I'll never go to that house again. If I see that house, I'll never go there again. I'll memorize. You can memorize the address. It doesn't happen so often that you can't memorize the address. It might be 123 Main Street, anytime USA, any town USA. So I just, I'm not going to go there. But when I first started, I would work. You would have to get blocks. You had to be required. You had required to go online. We had to do it on a certain day of the week at a certain time. You had to go and quickly try to get all the blocks you can get in there. You weren't allowed to just turn your app on and work. You had to have a block. DoorDash still has that. They call them dashes, and Uber Eats does not. I think Uber Eats was the first one you could just log in. Maybe Postmates. Uber Eats bought Postmates, so I'm not sure who did what. Chicken or the egg. But what happened was you had to do that. Then once they got rid of that, you can just log in if you wanted to. You could get blocks, and you're supposed to get better deliveries if you have blocks, but you can just log on at any time. But back then I was making about $25 an hour. I'd work a 10-hour day, 11 to 9, and I usually would make 200, 225, 250, sometimes 300. I think one time I made $400 in one day, 10 hours, $40 an hour. Then every now and then $180, but it would kind of work in, 180, 175, maybe 193. But never was I making, $10 an hour or something like that. Minimum wage is greater than that. And I always made that. So when I was working there, a makeup artist, she was a makeup artist on set, and she was looking for a side hustle because she used to rep a line. She repped 2 lines and then did makeup. The makeup union is very, very expensive because they deal with hygiene and safety and health as well. It's just being an actor. And it's an expensive union, and you got to buy supplies, and you got to do this, you got to do that. So I was working on a commercial. I was talking to her, and she was looking for a side hustle. So I told her about this, and then she signed up but never did it, I don't think. And she asked me how much I'm making. I told her. I thought, well, that's right. She got another line again after that. Then I didn't see her again from that was probably 2000 and maybe 15 or something like that. Then I saw her during the 2020 election. During the census 2020. Now, for those of you who didn't know, we had COVID. Now, if you think that was an accurate census, no. I don't know how accurate other censuses are, but that one was made up. The 2020 census, for those of you who didn't know this, it's not true. If you look at the census data, it's all fake. It's all just created. Maybe an algorithm. Maybe they hired an outside company just to throw numbers in there. People were not going to the door. People weren't answering the door. Everyone's in mask, and no, it never happened. That census. There should be an asterisk by there. This is not an accurate count due to COVID, and it was not even close to accurate. This is not. I mean, it was just made up. If let's say I went and I did the census of my apartment building, and I know how many African Americans live in my apartment, my condo complex. I know how many African Americans live here, but the algorithm says, man, we don't have any African Americans in Monroe. Go and throw another 50 on there. Throw some Persians, throw some Japanese. A lot of Chinese out here, but not very many Japanese. So throw some Japanese on there. We'll get it all mixed up, and the numbers all kind of fit with what people say is what. But that was not a good census. But so I saw her once in the census. I was a recruiter. First I was going door to door, checking houses, getting ready for the census. That was called we were doing address canvassing. We called it mousing, or we're out there walking around trying to get the information. But yes, so that what they did, we did that, and then when we got ready for the actual counting of people, enumerating, where they were actually going to count people, we had to recruit people to do that, and that's what I did. So I saw her again, and she asked me, "Are you still doing? Now, why do you got this full time? Is this full time?" I said, "Well, pretty much so. You have some flexibility in scheduling. When you did the address canvassing, you got blocks there. I can't remember what they called them. They may have called them blocks as well. You had to get blocks, and your boss would tell you, okay, David, this area really needs to be hit hard. So if you want to work in this area, you have your own area. Then you type it all in. When you try to get those, you tell them, tomorrow I'm going to work from 12 noon to 8 p.m. And then you type it in. If there was availability, then you'd be allowed to do that. You might have to work 12 to 2 and then come back at 4 and work 4 to 8 or something. It might be a little different, but you're telling it your availability. Then they had problems where people would quit. They had some areas where some of the people that were hired might have drug problems and that kind of stuff, and they would just stop showing up. I noticed a lot of that. Not to say anything bad about the high desert, but that did occur out there. I was asking why they need so many people all the time, because they always need people. Then they sent me up to like Malibu and Calabasas and all that. Those are nice. Those are really nice. But she was asking me, how are you still doing your side hustle? Oh yeah, I am. She said, how is it? It was not as good. The money's dropped off. So I saw her a third time on another film. So I saw her once, commercial. Then I saw her. She was thinking about going back at the COVID time, because how much makeup do you put on a person's face if they're wearing a mask? And then basically entertainment stopped, or it had cut back, or they changed things. They would want us to do it. Some of them, you send you a little thing of makeup. They want you to put it on at home, apply it at home before you got there. I'm sure we'll see a lot of movies that were shot at the time of COVID when people weren't a mask, and people see it like years later and say, why they're wearing a mask? Because someone forgot to take their mask off. Sometimes we do watch some kind of films and it's covering that time frame, maybe circa 2020, and they wear a mask because it's written into the story. Other times it's not written in the story. This is 1983, and it's 4 people walking around with surgical masks. Wait, was this? I'm sure we'll see that. We usually see the vouchers. The vouchers from Central Casting were pretty big, and people would fold them up and put them in their front pocket, or they stick it out the back of their jeans, and you could see it sticking out of that. And you see a boom mic pop down. Like I'm doing this, all of a sudden you'll see that. But so she's asked about that. So she said, well, then I saw her maybe about 5 months ago, and she said, you should. I had the video, the channel already, and she was asking me, you should do a video like of how you're doing now with this side hustle, because I know some people do side hustles. There's a chance to get out there and do some walking. A lot of people have a desk job and they don't really walk. You could, in between orders. I had to do this. I'd just go to a nice shopping center, or whatever, or in the mall if it was hot outside or raining, and I would just walk until my app notified me I had another order. So I get all this. Now I can't really do that with my foot being injured, but I would just get maybe even a whole mile between. You don't want to get a whole mile in between deliveries because you need money, but maybe get like half a mile. Maybe walk around the whole strip mall 2 times, and that's a quarter. Maybe once around's a quarter mile, so you get 2, and then maybe you get a half a mile. Then you get an order, and you go take the order. You get the to and from the restaurant, to and from the house, and it really adds up. You can get 12,000 steps on a 7 or 8 hour shift. So I said, okay, maybe I'll do that. Okay, she said I should do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a challenge. Now, if you go on YouTube, you'll see, Grubhub challenge. I want to make this amount of money today, or something. Or I'm gonna work 30 days in a row without a day off, and I'm gonna work for Uber Eats and DoorDash together. I'm gonna work two apps on it, and I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna go back and do it just like I did before, which would be taking every order. That's tough because now I can see all the information. Oh man, that's the order. I might only make $4. Where it'd be in the old days. Oh, the minimum I would make would be 12 or 8, or 10 to 12 maybe. Now what I do when I can see the order, I don't take anything under $8, hoping that maybe there'll be some extra cash at the door or extra cash added if I do a good job. There usually is not, and very oftentimes I might take 2 over my shift. I might take 2 that were actually just 8 or a little bit over 8. Most of them were, 13, 14. Somebody said, I'm not gonna take anything under $12. Well, you're not gonna make any money because you're gonna get some under $12. And so is it quantity versus quality, or you want some quality delivery with money wise and quantity. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna take them all. Now I can't do it like they do. What they do is they'll have their app, and they'll say, oh, here's my app, and you see here, beep 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 beep. Ours is called cowbells. You'll hear cowbells going off, ding, 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 ding. And I need more cowbells. And then you pick it up and you check to see if you want to take the order, and then you take it. Then they have 2 cameras, so they can film their app phone, the phone that they're using for the operate. They'll leave it turned on, and they'll film it throughout the day. Just film it's basically like go live kind of a thing. Well, I can't do that because I have to use my phone for the app. I'm gonna take this order and then go. Then I get and I navigate. So I can't do that. What I'll do is I'm gonna do it a part 1, part 2. This is basically part 1, I guess. But the day that I do it, I'll do a part 1. I'll do a hey, it's 10:30. I'm going out now at 11 to 9 in Pasadena, California, to see how much money I make. Then at the end of the day, if there's something that happens, I might film a short. I'll film that as a long form video like this, talking about what I'm going to do. I brought a Slim Fast. I brought my water bottle. I got my medications in my pocket. I'm all ready to go. And maybe and I got a jacket in case it gets cold. I got a short sleeve shirt. I got a sun shirt on in case it's hot. I always wear the sun shirt. Well, not always. I haven't been wearing it recently. I better start doing that. And then I'll cover it that way. Then at the end of the day, I'll come home and I'll open the app up and I'll write down all the deliveries I had. If there's anything that happens during the day, like, hey, I got a $10. We call them unicorns. I got a $10 tip in cash. Those are called unicorns now. I used to get that all the time, and now if you get it, it's once in a while. We call them a unicorn. And then at the end of the day, it's okay. I delivered from 11 to 9 in Pasadena, California. I had a total. I'll total it up. I had 19 deliveries. I made. I'll do it all. I'll even average it out. I'll say 19 deliveries. I made a total amount of money. This you divide it by the 19. I'm averaging this amount per delivery. And then I can. I think I can break it down even into tips, but I was kind of breaking down what I make now. Because in the old days, I would write down my miles, my hours, each tip. I'd write down each tip because I could do that. Or each delivery. I could do maybe miles, delivery, and everything. And I'm not gonna do that much. I'll just go from the time I started, the time I ended, how much money I made, and then I'm gonna cover some highlights. Well, here's a really good one. This was, there's been times where I'll be in the parking lot. I'll pick up the food, and I'll see that I'm gonna walk. That happens a lot in the mall. If you're in the mall, I might say pick up from the food court and deliver it to Macy's, and it's all just walking. If it starts your car, you just walk over there. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do. Don't forget, please subscribe, like, share, give me your comments down below. Maybe we'll do this. Today is Wednesday. I can't do it tomorrow because it's not enough time to get it all set up. Maybe I'll do it next week. Now, next week I do have a mock jury Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So maybe I can do this if I'm not too tired from that, because I have to go all the way to LAX like at 8. I had to be there at 8 in the morning, so I gotta leave my house about 6 and do that. So I might be a little bit tired. If I'm tired, maybe I'll do it Friday, but I think I'll try to shoot for Thursday of next week. A week from tomorrow, and I'll do that. So anyway, hope you'll think that's fun. I don't know, but I won't be able to show the both phones. I wish I had another phone that I could load the app on and then film it that way, but I really can't. So it's kind of the honor system. But why would I lie about how much I made taking people's food from go to the restaurant, pick up their food? Well, also, if I am going to take every order, that means now we do some things we didn't do before. So that's gonna be a little bit of a modification. We didn't used to take groceries to people's houses. We like Instacart or all that. And I didn't used to take like Walmart orders. I did take Walmart orders when I was working for Uber Eats. I think it was Postmates at the time, but I've never taken one with Grubhub. So there may be some things I have to do on this that I didn't do before, and maybe sometimes it's you reject it. You look at the order and you say, oh, it's only 9 items, and then you get there and you find out that 7 items of the 32 bottles of bottled water, and then there's 7 of those, and then there's a 50-pound bag of dog food, and then so it's up and down stairs or whatever, and that really takes a lot of time. That's one thing you don't want to do, things that take a lot of time. You may see a great order. The other day I had one for $37. Total, that's a good order. Like I said, I was taking orders of $8 or more, and here's one for, I think it was like $37. But I had to go from Doherty, Walmart, and it was like, I think it was like 43 items. It could be just, that could be 43 items, could just be, something very light, pouches of tuna or something, I don't know. But and then I had to drive all the way to almost to the airport, LA airport, come back. That whole order would have probably taken me probably 2.5, 3 hours. That's if I don't get traffic, and that's far. It's a lot of miles, so you don't want to go very far. Take a long time. So I may get some of those if I do get some of those, or if I had some that you have to actually shop, you got to push the cart around the store and get those. And if something's missing, you have to write to the customer, not available, would you like a substitute? And they say, oh yes, please substitute my Butterfingers for a Baby Ruth bar, things like that. So that can happen. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be fun, I guess. I don't know. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Hope you're all doing well.